teacher and kind of drawing. You know this is my Gemara. It says, Tati, what does that say?
I'm busy now. You can't talk to me now, okay? Good morning.
Good morning.
What did I say to each other? Okay. Good morning, one and all. Welcome back to our daily learning session. I'm sure you're all logging on. If you're coming on, please, Shubha Gerson, good morning, joining. Marco Stein, good morning. Arnold Ork, good morning. Evan Posner. Wonderful to have you all here. Steve Nossel, good morning. If you're joining us on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, please let us know. We'd love to know you're here. I see some people are joining YouTube now. Facebook's getting busy. Trevor Gerson, Miriam Sachs, good to see you all. Norman Stein, good morning. Boker Tov. This is wonderful. Our subscription is growing every day. Ruth Kaplan, good morning. Great stuff. Thank you. Brian Feinstein, Helen Feinstein, good morning. Amazing. If you're joining Facebook, let us know. If you're joining YouTube, let us know. We'd love to know you're here with us. You can always comment in the comments bar. Let's turn on the chat. Right. Good morning, Jason Wolfson. Good morning, Robert Levy, Maureen Levy, Tracy Mindel. Thank you for joining today. Wonderful. Hope you're all keeping well and healthy. I see our great, beautiful Hilly Lipworth. Good morning. Our numbers on YouTube are growing too. So if you're joining us on YouTube, please let us know. We'd love to know that you're here with us. So just put a comment in the comments bar. Let me show you where. If you're coming in from overseas, let us love to know where you're. Australia, where else? Norman Stein. That's the, we can say thanks and sponsored by coronavirus, Norman. You're logging in from overseas. We'd love to know you're with us. Okay, good morning. Participants on YouTube too. Let us know you're with us. Hey guys on YouTube. Just post something in the comments bar, in the chat, where I just posted. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for joining. Trevor Gerson. Yeah, it's always amazing to see you guys. Thank you. We'll just wait another minute or so while people are logging on. The irony with Facebook and YouTube is that while they're logging on, they're also logging off. So it levels out the playing field. Felicia Jenks, good morning. Thank you for joining. Wonderful to see everyone coming on. David Ginsburg, good morning, David. Good to have you online with us. Thank you for joining. We're going to wait another 30 seconds before we begin at the 5-minute mark. Manfred Kalmek, good morning. Thank you for joining. And then at 5, we're going to get going in just a moment. Any overseas viewers, let us know. Israel, Australia, America, let us know if you're tuning in from overseas. We'd love to know on either YouTube or Facebook. Okay, we're about to get going. Thank you to one and all for joining. First things first, please can you share this video? On Facebook, it's easy to do so. Under your screen, there's a share button. Just press share and you will share that video to your timelines. Anyone of your friends or family will see what you're up to, what you're busy with this morning, and hopefully will join us too. On either one of the platforms, YouTube or Facebook, please let us know you're with us just by posting in the chat box. That chat box can be used for questions and answers as well, or comments or criticism or questions or compliments as we go along in the chat box. Yesterday we had a fascinating discussion. And you guys were so active. It was like amazing. You were so active and so interactive, which was really, really fun. So I hope we could do the same today as well. We've started going through discussion of the meaning, the neshama, the soul behind some of our rituals. And we started yesterday to focus on the Friday night meal, the Seudat Shabbat, as we call it. And we started with the candle lighting. Yesterday, we had a great discussion about candle lighting. There were even some questions that came through afterwards, after we were done. Oh, the Kwasnik family. Thank you. Good morning to the Kwasniks on YouTube. Hi, thank you for joining. I think it's Gabriella. Okay, so now you're on YouTube. Good. Thank you for posting. Anyone else that's joining us on either one of the two platforms, please let us know you're here, Facebook or YouTube. So we had a wonderful discussion yesterday about the candle lighting. And today we're going to move on to something a little different down the line. And that is to discuss the Shalom Aleichem. The Shalom Aleichem that we sing every Friday night. Just 1 second here. Okay, so we're going to move on to the Friday night service. And during the Friday night service, we have a tradition at the meal that we sing Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. As you're all fully aware of. And we say it twice, 3 times even. Who are we saying Shalom Aleichem to? Who are we welcoming? Who are we greeting? What's this all about? Shalom Aleichem. Bo'achem l'shalom. Shalom Aleichem means peace unto you. Bo'achem l'shalom means welcome in peace. Baruchuni, bless us in peace. Tetchem l'shalom, may you travel and leave in peace too. So it's an interesting song to sing, isn't it? So what's the reason? What's the background to that? So the sages have taught us that we have angels that come home with us from shul. 2 angels that escort us on Friday night, the Malachim. And these 2 angels are the ones that travel with us from shul to home. In today's day of Corona lockdown, there's not much walking these angels need to do these days. We're not doing much walking, and neither are they. But the minhag is, the custom is that people travel home with us. The malachim travel home with us. The angels come home with us. And when we come into the home, we say Shalom Aleichem. We are greeting the angels, the malachim, because our homes are being elevated and lifted to a much higher spiritual level over Shabbat, over Friday night. And so we greet them. Shalom Aleichem. Bo'achem l'shalom. Baruchuni, bless us. We ask the angels to bless us. Tetchem l'shalom. Exactly, Robert Levy. Robert, thank you. Angels are accompanying us from shul. That's the correct answer. Tetchem l'shalom. We escort you out. That please go when Shabbos comes to an end and the malachim need to leave us. The malachim should feel satiated and full and inspired from what they've seen around our table. And in fact, the Gemara tells us, the Talmud tells us that the malachim look at our tables, they look at our homes, They see what's going on and they say, well, am I coming back next week? Was this home ready for me? Was this table prepared for me? Were the Shabbos candles lit for me? If it is, I'll come back next week. If it wasn't, I don't want to come back here because that home hasn't really prepared for the angels of Shabbos. And so that's the Shalom Aleichem, is to be mindful of the presence of Malachim, the presence of angels that stand by our side, that escort us back from shul to home and stand by our side. Good morning, Joan and Dave Block. Good to have you with us. Thank you for giving us your greetings. Anyone joining us now, please do give us your greetings. We're well over 30 people in our classroom. That's a big classroom, guys, today. So please let us know that you're here with us. And so that's the Shalom Aleichem and the song that we sing. And then we have the Eshet Chayil. Eshet Chayil miyimsa v'rachok mivnini michra patach balav bala v'shala lo yechsar. It's a beautiful song. And what are we describing in the Eshet Chayil? David Sachs, good to have you online with us. Thank you for your greetings. So we sing Eshet Chayil. What's the Eshet Chayil about? Just 1 second here, please. Hold on. Okay, so the Talmud writes, let me quote what the Talmud says, just regarding Shalom Aleichem. Boker Tov Ephraim Kamisar, all the way from the Holy Land of Israel. Good to have you, Ephraim. Boker Tov. Right, so I'll come back to Eshet Chayil in just a moment. Let me just finish with Shalom Aleichem. Just a quote. Rabbi Yossi, the son of Yehuda, says, 2 ministering angels, 1 good angel and 1 evil prosecuting angel, accompany a person home on Friday night from the synagogue. When they arrive home, if they find the candle lit, the table set, and beds arranged nicely, the good angel says, may it be God's will that next Shabbos be the same. And the evil angel is compelled to respond, Amen. Otherwise, if the home is not prepared in honor of Shabbos, the evil angel says, may it be God's will the next Shabbos be the same. And the good angel is compelled to respond, Amen. That is the quote from Talmud Shabbos, Talmud 119, about the 2 angels, the good angel and the not so good angel. Why 3? That was the question that Trevor Gerson asked. Why did we say Shalom Aleichem 3 times? Good question. So it's 2 Shalom Aleichem to each one. It actually says that the 3rd one is for other angels that are not with us. So we greet the 2, Shalom Aleichem, and Shalom Aleichem to general, to the others that aren't necessarily present with us today. We welcome them in on Shabbos, which is an interesting thing. We're welcoming in other angels into the Shabbos. Other angels should be welcomed, Shalom Aleichem, not just the angel standing by our side, the 2 angels standing by our side, but even a 3rd greeting to angels in general. Interesting. Good question, Trevor. We'll come back to that more. I want to do a bit more research to understand that 3rd Shalom Aleichem. And then Eshet Chayil. And we say Eshet Chayil, and we obviously thank the woman of the house, as Robert Levy writes correctly. We acknowledge the women who have prepared so hard for Shabbos. Even though it's not always the women that prepare so hard, it's also men that prepare hard for Shabbos too. But obviously we show gratitude and thanks to the malachim, to the women who are the malachim too, to the women who have put in so much effort into the preparation for Shabbos. But also, there's something deeper about this. We know from Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon's in the Song of Songs, that the relationship of Hashem and the Jewish people is compared to the relationship of a man and woman, husband and wife. In fact, that's what Song of Songs does. Shir HaShirim write in such a poetic language, describing the relationship of a husband and wife. That's the relationship of God and the Jewish people. And so when we sing Eshet Chayil and we're praising Eshet Chayil Miimtza, what we're actually doing is we're acknowledging the presence and the relationship of God and the Jewish people, that we are compared to a husband and wife. It's so important because Shabbos is a time when we reconnect with ourselves. We reconnect with our souls, our neshamas, and we reconnect with God. That's what Shabbos does. That's what Shabbos accomplishes. Dennis Bessarabi on YouTube. Thank you. Welcome. Monty Israel. Great. Fantastic. Thank you for your comments on the chat on YouTube. Nice to have you all with us. Wonderful to see you here, as well as our 34 plus students on Facebook. Felicia Jenks writes, Eshet Chayil is also about Shabbos. Very true. Very, very true. It's true because we say Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pnei Shabbos Nekabla. So Shabbos itself is compared to Eshet Chayil. Very true. So there's few aspects to Eshet Chayil. Number one, the women of the home. Number two, our relationship with God. Number three, Shabbos itself is Lecha Dodi. David Sachs writes, you say the good angel won't come back if the home is not set up with candles, etc. How do we invite the angel back if we've missed a week? Very, very practical question, David. And I think the answer is that Hashem and the angels know the thought process that goes through our minds. The moment a Jew or Jewess decide that they want to keep the Shabbos properly and they want to welcome the angels back into their home, I promise you they'll be there to join you. What the Talmud is describing, that the angel decides not to come back, is one who has consciously decided not to do it. But if we consciously decide to do it, we consciously decide to have the Shabbos dinner, sit around the table with our families and prepare with kiddush and candlelighting and etc., I promise you, David Sachs, that the angels will be back in your home. They will smell the smell of the challah. They will smell the smell of the roast, of the candles that are lit in your home. Michael Staines invited his friends in. Paul, nice to have you with us. Thanks, Michael, for bringing your friends. Steve Romberg, thank you for joining us. Jason Bohm, if they know, why do they have to come to the house? I think you're talking about the Malachim. Jason, the Malachim want to participate in our Shabbos dinners. The angels want to benefit. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for that inspiration. They're looking to see what it looks like to have a Shabbos dinner around the Shabbos table. They are jealous and they want to be part of our Shabbos meal. That's why they come into our home. And we greet them with Shalom Aleichem. Boyachem the Shalom. We welcome the angels in. Eshet Chayil, good, is a welcoming song, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, we go on to Kiddush. I like this, guys. Keep the questions going. YouTubers, keep posting your messages here. Facebookers, welcome to Philip Zettler from Cape Town. Good to have you all here. Fantastic. This is a beautiful, beautiful group of people. One by one. Each one of you. Thank you for joining us here and engaging and learning and talking and discussing. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. It's great when there's classroom student participation. Good stuff. So we've spoken about Shalom Aleichem, Eshet Chayil. There's also a beautiful moment which I want to address before we go on to Kiddush. And that's Birkat Habanim. Blessings of the children. Yevarechecha Hashem Yishmerecha. As the fathers bless their children on Friday night. It's a beautiful, beautiful custom. And I encourage fathers to do it. To bless their children as Shabbos comes in. But blessing children is a lot more than just a blessing. Those few moments when you stand with your hands on the head of your child and you say the brachas of Yevarechecha and Yisa, Yo'er and Yisa, the 3 psukim of Birkat HaBanim, or Yisimcha lehim ke'Ephraim chi'Menashe, ke'Rachel Rivka Rachel v'Leah, this generation, remembering the values of his father, the values of the previous generation. As you stand there with your hands, you know what smicha means? What does smicha mean? Smicha is the rabbinic ordination, the rabbinic certification called smicha. What does actually smicha mean? Smicha means placing of the hands. As we know that when the Kohanim brought sacrifices, they put their hands onto the animals. When Moshe Rabbeinu appointed Yehoshua, he put his hands on top of Yehoshua. What does it mean? It means we're transferring energy. By putting the hands on the sacrifice, we're elevating the sacrifice through our hands. That's smicha. When Moshe Rabbeinu put his hands on top of Joshua, he elevated Joshua. He elevated Joshua to a new level. When a father puts his hands on the child, that's transmitting generations, transmitting tradition from one generation to the next. It's not just the bracha. It's also the importance of Jewish continuity that's being passed down from one to the other. If any of you have any questions you'd like to ask, please let us know. We love having our student engaging. I see our numbers are growing on YouTube and numbers are growing on Facebook. Nice to have you all with us. If there's any questions, please let us know. If you're coming in just now, please put a comment into the chat box and just to let us know you're with us. It's nice to engage and hear from you. So feel free to say hello and good morning as we discuss the rituals of the Friday night dinner, Sudat Shabbat. Does anyone here have memories of their parents giving them brachas on Friday night? Or even Erev Yom Kippur, which is also the custom of just before Yom Kippur, to give brachas to our children. Anyone here have interesting customs relating to the brachas that we do on Erev Shabbos? Wi-Fi is very sporadic. Oh boy. Miriam Sachs, thank you for letting me know. Helen Feinstein, bless married children. Yes. Blessing married children. Absolutely. Continue blessing your married children and your grandchildren, Helen. We also bless our grandchildren too. The Wi-Fi is very sporadic. Yeah, I'm sorry, Miriam. Apologies if that's coming through. At the moment, we've got 5 or 6 gadgets running schooling here. So, please bear with me for just a moment. Hold on 1 second. Urgency calls. 1 second. There's someone who urgently needs me. My sound is also breaking. Tracy Mindel. 1 second. Okay, thank you. Okay, Helen Feinstein says, thank you. If not in the same town, yes, brachas can be done over the phone too. Call your children and give them brachas over the phone. You're right. So that in that case, there wouldn't be the placing of the hands on the head. That's true. And again, I don't think that's a critical aspect of the brachas. The brachas are still brachas, whether the hands are on the head or not. Just a beautiful tradition, passing down the continuity of Jewish practice from one generation to the next. Let's move on. And I'm sorry if the Wi-Fi is cutting out. Apologies if it's coming out a little bit choppy here. Let's move on to Kiddush. Okay, so Kiddush. We're going to discuss Kiddush now. What is all about Kiddush? What does Kiddush actually mean? We call Kiddush, it's not just holding the cup of wine, which is a beautiful thing, but why do we do Kiddush? What's that all about? Kadesh comes in the same word. Kadesh Urchat in the Pesach Seder. Kiddush, what's that all about? So to be honest, it's interesting because marriage is also called Kiddushin. Marriage is called Kiddushin. What's the connection between Kiddush, Kiddushin, and then we got Kaddish. Kaddish is the same word as well. Kiddush, Kaddish, Kedusha. Marco Stein says, should we sit or stand when drinking the wine? Very good question there. I'm going to come back to that in a moment. I'll come back to that, Michael, in just a moment. Thank you for asking. So what does it mean? The word Kiddush actually means holiness. Holy. That's what Kiddush means, holy. Kiddushin or Kaddish also means separated. Holy and separated are the same. When you're holy, you're separated. That's why marriage is called Kiddushin, because when you're married, you are now separated from someone else. Before marriage, you were available to everybody. When you're married, you're committed to your spouse. So that's Kiddushin. We're now making you holy. We're now making you separated. That's where the word Kiddush comes from. We sanctify, we make the day holy, but we separate the day as well. That Shabbos now becomes separated from the rest of the week. I think it ties into Kaddish as well. Kaddish, it's said over the loss of loved ones. We're also recognizing that God is holy, but also God is aloof. God is distant. God is beyond our logic and understanding. And so when there's a loss of a loved one, we say Kaddish, to recognize that it is out of our realm. Our mortal mind can't understand his mind. That's Kaddish. So Kiddushin, marriage, Kiddush on Friday night, Kaddish, it's all related. It's making something holy and distinct at the same process, at the same time. So Michael asked the question, should we sit or stand when we drink the wine? And the answer is that according to Shulchan Aruch, there is something special about sitting. Sitting makes the meal more concrete. Sitting makes me more part of the Seudah. Whereas if I stand, I'm also almost like a passerby. It's a very temporary state of participation. And so Halacha speaks about drinking the wine sitting. That's why the one who makes Kiddush doesn't drink sitting up. He sits down by the table to drink the wine. The participants sit around the table. However, Michael, just to address your question, I think that there's some leniency there too. Because the moment we're gathered around the Shabbos table, whether you're sitting or standing, you're generally going to be part of that meal. So although there's a preference to sit down, at the same time, many people don't. Because what else am I doing by the table if not participating by the Shabbos meal? What else am I doing there? I'm standing by the table because I'm here for the meal. So I'm pretty much participating whether I sit or stand. So there is something about sitting because it shows permanence. It shows I'm sitting down, I'm part of the meal. But standing up around the Shabbos table is pretty much the same idea. And so that's why we're not as particular about this particular detail of whether to sit or stand when you're drinking the wine. But if you prefer and you're able to, sitting down would be more appropriate. If there's any other questions you'd like to engage with or ask as we go through the discussions of Kiddush, I'd love to hear from you. So Helen, just to clarify, Helen, because Ellen's asking, do you not do what your father did? No. Michael's question wasn't about whether you stand or you sit when you make Kiddush. Michael's question was whether you drink the wine sitting or standing. That was Michael's question. Drinking of the wine, not the way you make the Kiddush. I see people are still logging on as we're speaking. Nice to have you all with us. We are busy discussing the Shabbos meal, Sudat Shabbat, focusing now on the Kiddush. If you're coming in, say hello. YouTube, Facebookers, we want to hear from you. Any other questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat box. and we'd love to address your questions. So here too is an interesting discussion, and I'm still going to get back to a question that was asked to me about lefties and righties, because we had that discussion about if you're left-handed or right-handed. So I'm a lefty, and therefore I hold the Kiddush cup in my left hand. Okay, interesting. I hold the Kiddush cup in my left hand. And a righty would hold the Kiddush cup in their right hand. There's also something taught about how to hold the cup. Oh, Michael Stein, you're already jumping onto challah. Okay, we'll get there in a moment, Michael. We're getting there. Let's just finish with Kiddush first. Can't jump the gun here. There's something also about Kiddush that there's different ways of holding the cup. Many people hold the cup. Let me just show you something. I've got a mug here. Okay, Tracy Mindel. When one blesses their kids, is there a specific way of placing your hands on your children? Should you try to do your hand like Kohanim do when blessing? No, absolutely not. We don't do our hands like when Kohanim bless. No, we're not Kohanim, and we don't do it. No, there's no specific way of how to place our hands onto our children. No, not at all, Tracy, to answer your question. So we're back with Kiddush. There's different ways of holding the Kiddush cup. I'm going to use my mug here. Okay? Many people grasp the Kiddush cup like this. This is how many people hold the Kiddush cup. Okay? But according to Kabbalah, there's something very, very important about holding the cup in our palm, the bottom of our hand, like this. Why? Because our fingers are pointing upwards and our hands are becoming kalim, vessels, a vessel for Hashem's brachas. The wine in the Kiddush cup represents bracha. It's a cup of bracha. It's a cup of overflowing blessings. And when my hand is open, like this, you don't get the same effect when your hands are on the side of the cup. When you open up your hands and you place, or in the righties, you place the cup into your hand, the bracha is flowing into your hand. The hand is a keli, is the vessel, and the wine is the source of blessings. We say in the Lecha Dodi, we say the words, Kihi Mekor HaBaracha, that Shabbos is the source of all blessings. So when we hold our hands up during Kiddush, and the wine in the cup overflows into our hands, that is a source of bracha. Kihi Mekor HaBaracha, that is a source of bracha. When you say Savim Aranon, are you welcoming your guests? Exactly. Correct. And Trevor, whether you have physical human guests or you have the angel guests around your table, Savim Aranon is the blessing we say. Helen writes, Rabbi, what I wanted to ask, when Kiddush is recited, do you sit or stand? Do you follow the custom of your father? Good. So you're asking about reciting the Kiddush. You're not asking about drinking. Michael was asking about drinking. Helen's asking now about saying. Okay, so Helen, if I'm not mistaken, everybody stands for part of the Kiddush for Yom HaShishi. We stand up at the beginning of the ceremony. We stand up at the beginning of the ceremony, and then there's different customs about sitting down or not. Yes, so Helen, to be honest, there are different customs. There are many different customs, and one should follow the custom of their father. But at the same time, it's worthwhile doing research to understand more about this topic, rather than just following blind faith, blindfolded. Because just to address Michael's question, Michael Stein, some people have the custom that they start Kiddush off as Yom HaShishi, standing, and then as they get to the brachas, they sit down, again, to make the Kiddush more permanent. Some people have the custom to say the entire Kiddush standing up. From Yom HaShishi till Baruch Atah Hashem Mekadesh HaShabbat, they stand the entire time, and then they sit down to drink. And I think, Helen, your comment's right. they're all good customs. And when you look into the book of halacha and the book of practice, you'll find sources for every custom, pretty much, when it comes to Kiddush. Standing, sitting, starting to stand, starting to sit. So I think that in a way we do follow the custom of our father. But there's definitely the idea of starting the Kiddush. We start the Kiddush on Friday night, standing up, Yom HaShishi. Why? Because it's a special ceremony. We're saying the Kiddush to sanctify the special day. And to do that, we do it standing. By the way, there's something else about the wine. Every holy ceremony has a bracha on wine. Friday night meal, Shabbos day meal, a Brit Milah, a marriage, Pidun Haben. Every holy ceremony. Why? Because Chazal teach us, our sages teach us, Ein Simcha Ela Bayayin. It's through the wine, through the sanctification, through the ceremonial ritual of a wine that we bring simcha and joy and chashivut and importance to that particular ceremony, that particular event. So that's been an interesting discussion. Thank you for your communication. Michael, stay. We're going to have to come back to the question of the challah. We're going to come back to the question of the challah, please God, in the coming day, possibly tomorrow. Today we spoke about Shalom Aleichem, Eshet Chayil, blessings of the children, making of Kiddush. If there's any other questions you'd like to ask, please let us know. Post your questions on the group, and I'd be happy to address them. Once again, apologies for the Wi-Fi sporadic performance, a little bit out of our hands, but nonetheless, thank you for joining. Any questions, any comments you'd like to post? I'd love to hear from you. We've had a wonderful crowd today, and I wish you a wonderful day ahead. Keep well, keep safe, keep sane, keep motivated and inspired. Thank you, Gabriella, Kwasnik family on YouTube. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael Stein. Good to see you here. Good to have you here. Always. May we continue growing together, learning together, inspiring one another. Jason Bohm. Jason, get your mates online. We want to see all your friends. I know who your friends are. Get them all online. Mark Wachenheimer, Shirley Feldman, thank you. God bless. Norman Stein, Shkoach. Thank you, Dennis Basarabi on YouTube. Dave Block, Shkoach, thank you. Well done for joining. Well done for communicating with us. Nice to hear from you. Have a wonderful day ahead. Keep well and keep safe. Thank you, Shkoach Trevor.